Cavecast, the uncensored show for nerds of all kinds.
Tonight is going to be a lot of fun. It is essentially going to be a glorified version of show and tell in a way. Mind you, these prized possessions that we're going to share with you guys, they are important to us, but I wouldn't say that they're necessarily the end all be all. Like it's kind of like, it's essentially almost like in no particular order. You know, this is just some fun things that we can talk about and that, you know, have made a lasting impression on us. And I don't know, how long did it take for you to figure out your prized possessions?
Actually, a while, man. Like, and it's still kind of odd because I don't really look at things like that per se. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just I don't really have like things like that I think about, you know, because there's I'll say some stuff here in a minute, but it's like I thought about certain things. I'm like, whoa, okay, but like, you know, one that's cliche or like whatever, but it's like, no, what is like really cool? Like, what do I have or whatever? And I think some of the things I got are pretty cool. So
yeah. What's one of the things is actually sitting on the couch here.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what you have to say about it because that's actually quite a recent one. And
yes, it is.
It's really cool. Just so you guys are aware too that not every prized possession that we talk about is going to be able to be shown in the room because maybe it's too large or maybe it's not at the house or like whatever, or maybe it's a past thing. I don't know. But to get it started is that I know that I had two for a while when I brought this to you and I said, you know, this is the, you know, the idea I have because you guys have talked about it, that you enjoy learning more about us. And that's something that has been even talked about on Patreon or on the comments or in the comments and everything, is that we just love getting to know you. Which is weird. I appreciate it. Where it's like we have that mentality of that we feel like we're not that interesting, but in the same hand, people enjoy it, and there's plenty of things that we feel comfortable sharing and that we can talk about. And we've been blessed with a lot of really cool things in our life that we've either gotten to experience or we've been able to tangibly touch with our hands. And what I would like for you to do is, would you like to start us?
Sure.
So, are you going to start with what's on the couch, or do you got something else going on here?
I'll probably do that. It's the only one that I like have something on but so it was probably March, I think it was, because it was for Valentine's Day, but it wasn't for like a couple weeks after it. But Meg had got me something for Valentine's Day, and some of you guys know, maybe or maybe not, but I'm a huge Trailer Park Boys fan, and that show got me through some hard times when I moved back from Pittsburgh years ago, and when I was just kind of starting over, and a mutual friend of ours had showed it to me, and I was just, you know, down on my luck. And when I was done job hunting for the day, I would go to his house and we would hang out. And he's like, you ever seen the Trailer Park Boys? I'm like, what's that? He's like, oh, it's going to change your life. And it did.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so obnoxious at how good it is. It shouldn't be that good.
Dude, Bubbles is my favorite. Hands down.
It's just mine too, but like everybody is solid.
Yeah.
Everybody. And so that being said, she had bought me a meet and greet because there was like a con of sorts in Cleveland.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
She's so
cool.
Cool.
It was a meet and greet where, you know, you got to take a picture and whatnot, and they had like their little panel that you could go up there and stuff. So I got the picture, and then I also got the autograph. I don't know how well you guys can see that.
I'll try to get it a little closer for you here.
Yeah.
So we won't be able to do this with everything, but I'm close to it. But you guys can see this. So yeah, there it is.
But
Eric's hanging out with the trio. So yeah,
they were so cool, man. Like, I know we went there on the last day. They were there for 3 days. So I mean, I know they were probably exhausted, which was fine. But dude, even at that, they were really awesome. I was kind of by myself when I was getting the autograph, and I kind of said a few things to them, and they just kind of chuckled, and they were like, hell yeah, let's go. And walking away, Meg was like, are you all right? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I was freaking out internally. She's like, you held it together very well. I was like, did I? Because I was dying on the inside. Like, it was just, it for years and years and years, I've watched them, quoted them, whatever, and I got to see them in real life. Yeah, they were in their persona, obviously. That's not the real not the real person, but they stayed in character. And it was just a lot of fun, and I get to keep this forever. So that is a prized possession, and Meg got it for me.
So you would definitely say that they are definitely just straight dudes. Like
Yes.
they are just awesome people.
Yes.
So
They, like I said, even if they were having a bad day, they didn't show it.
see,
So that's cool.
What is so interesting is that, I mean, we do not play on that level whatsoever, but, you know, we kind of talked about this with the Moose Lounge podcast, where it's like, I mean, definitely go check out that episode. That was a lot of fun. I'll make sure it's in the description.
And them in general. Like,
dude,
they're awesome.
They're so fun. But no, like we talked about, you know, the reality of quote unquote fame and how, you know, with the small amount, and I'm talking like the 2% that we've been able to experience, is that we've never had to be at a place for 3 days straight and meet tons of different people that maybe not all of them are a joy to be around.
Right.
But some of them are. And it's just so knowing that about them, and the fact that they've stayed in character, or that they stayed in character for it, because I have seen some interviews with them where they are just themselves.
Yes.
And it's actually really, like, a part of me doesn't like it, where I'm like, no, put the glasses on.
Change it back.
Yeah. So, it's so weird. And for me to be able to know that you got something that not only was a great gift, but it was the fact that it was like, dude, like they're just people that are figuring out life too. Like that's something that's really cool. It's just awesome, man.
And the fact that, I mean, there was a lot of other things that we did there. We met we met one person from the office, and it was Meredith.
Oh yeah.
After that, but it was there was many other people there. Dante Basco, Rufio was there as well. But so there was other things, but the fact that she knows nothing about the show, never watched it, doesn't know anything about it, knows how much I like it.
Right.
And went, no, I'm going to do that. And I cherish it. Like it's one of my prized possessions.
Yeah.
Like that was one that immediately came to me.
Yeah.
So
it's a solid one, man. I think that it's interesting that I think that our stuff tonight is going to be entertainment based in a lot of ways.
Most of it,
So,
yes.
yeah.
I had some runner ups, and I didn't know what to do. And like one of them, like I'll say it right now, one of them was our CDs that we got, and I'm so sorry that I'm blanking on who sent them to us, but the NF and the Motionless in White, the one that was autographed, and then the rare.
You know
rare,
who you are.
Yeah,
so.
I'm so sorry that I can't remember who that was a while ago, and frankly, we've gotten a lot of stuff, but so
definitely.
that was a close runner up though.
Well, it's funny because actually in the
they are in here. Your
they're on
set.
display. Yeah. So I always talked about that's what I want the room to end up being, is that like it does have that Joe Rogan vibe of like, no, like when you come in here, you see the memorabilia, you see you know the achievements, or you see the goofy shit, or like whatever. But this one, the one I'm going to start out with is this one is really special.
Dude,
and
I remember getting the text message about this a couple hours before you did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, all right. And when he said that, or when he texted me that, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I wouldn't have thought about that. And he did.
Devin pays attention. And I'm going to keep this on Eric's camera just because we can mess with this. But this right here, I don't know how well it will be in focus, but this is a ring that is on a necklace
from the Lord.
From the Lord. And
Lord of the Rings.
One ring to rule them all. This was a gift from our younger brother, Devin. And Devin is somebody that pays attention very much, and it's been very different recently. Just
Oddly enough,
you know, it's like, you know, he's been working, he's become an adult and doing things, so we haven't been able to see him much. Which, you know, it does suck, but the thing is that we went through that stage ourselves, and we're still going through it now.
Doing it, yeah.
And this is special to me because it's not just a ring. And it may not be the exact same replica of what it's supposed to be, but dude, I absolutely just adore this thing. On the side of it, and I'm sure if you guys have been on my Instagram or if you've seen any posts from me, is that this is inscribed with Sic Parvis Magna, which means greatness from small beginnings. I think about the things that we do and the stuff that's already happened, and it's like, man, you know, like every single thing that, you know, happens for somebody that achieves greatness or does something that, you know, moves the world, or like, you know, like Ren says, like we quoted this with, I quoted this on the Moose Lounge podcast, but it's like to make waves and to do something is that it all starts from a small beginning. And he knows I love Uncharted. Uncharted is one of my favorite, just Naughty Dog, just series of games. I mean, it's or the protagonist of that game is so amazing just because Nate is just so much of a human. And he's just like, that, oh, crap. Or like, he's not that guy that like gets shot and goes, oh, I'll be fine. He's like, you son of a bitch. Like, so it's just, he has that mentality to him. He's so
Those
human.
were fun games.
Dude, and they're over the top. There's no way in hell that anybody would ever survive anything that he goes through, ever. But
the train when he's climbing up, come on the second one, bullshit.
Yeah.
I started off, I was like, this is fucked. Like, no way this would happen.
This is how they teach you. This is the tutorial of the game of how to
to
climb.
yeah.
You're like, oh, we're just starting
right in,
So-
fucking balls deep.
And it's I don't know, like to me, I think that, again, I'm not going to spoil the finale of the entire story for anybody that hasn't seen it, but I was blown away by how they chose to end Drake's story and what they were doing with it and why the things happened that they did. Because, there's always this stereotype of that, oh, for a story to be impactful, people have to die, like so we have to lose somebody.
Sure.
Or, but
not always.
Right. And I think that there's something impactful about what they did do because it was very different and it made me fall in love with the series again. Just this idea that we have this moment of discovery where it's like, oh my God, yeah, this did happen. El Dorado. Like he found El Dorado. He found Shambhala. He found, the Atlantis of the Sands. It's like Indiana Jones on crack.
Yeah.
It's so incredible.
That's a good way to put it. It is like playing Indiana Jones almost.
Yeah.
That's now I got to replay it.
Yeah.
Now I got to
I own all 4 of them. We can do it.
Stop let's hit pause for a second.
Right now you want to go? No, yes. But no, I've worn it on the channel a couple of times, and it's one of those that I don't wear it often, just because I do try to keep it safe. But every once in a while, whenever I walk, like when this was my bedroom, I would walk out of the room and it would be hanging above the light switch. Excuse me, and I would see it, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, Devin got that for me. That is so damn cool, and it's a gift that I know that even if it doesn't last forever, I will always have something like this to not only remind me of Devin, but also to remind me of one of my favorite games of all time. And it's just it's awesome because I also know that being in public, that if people see it, that it's like if you know.
Yeah, right.
It's because it's the one time I was at Walmart, somebody was next to me and their phone went off and it was a clicker sound effect. And I looked over and I'm like, yeah, we're good. Like we know what's up. So, but this one's kind of simple, but yeah, this ring, I absolutely love it. And it's something that I've made very, very, I've made sure that I've not lost it just because, it is so special. So that's why usually it just hangs right up there on that nail,
Things like that don't have to be big or expensive or, over the top. Like having a prized possession can be anything. And I think that just kind of goes to show, like, yeah, it wasn't super expensive. It's the thought and the memory and the things that go with it that make it a prized possession.
For sure.
Even if it wasn't your brother that got it for you, it would have still been a prized possession because somebody remembered to get that for you or knew that about you. So I think that's pretty cool, man. I think that's a really good one. So
I think it also kind of goes back into that, mentality that because I think everybody has had this at some point is people that pay attention, like, hey, I got this for you because I remembered that you said that you like that. It's like there's that, romantic kind of side to that.
Yeah.
Where like I grab you a Snickers every time I'm out or whatever. But in the same hand, it's like, no, like those are the people in your life and the friends that give a shit to the biggest degree.
Right.
It's that because I think that there are friends that we have that it's one of those where it's like, are you waiting for your turn to speak or are you listening? And that's something that I've tried to work on myself because I know for a fact I can talk for hours. But clearly I want to do a podcast for a living. So clearly I want to talk, but I try my best to, make sure that I'm not just waiting for my story to be told next and how great I am. And it's like that's something that, I've tried my best to, attract and try to be, because it's connecting with the person that I'm with.
Well, look at Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, I mean, yeah, he can talk too, but Joe Rogan's a listener. Joe Rogan is he's an asker. So it's one of those, he'll ask a question and then sit back.
Yeah.
So I mean, don't steal that idea, but it's the fact of, yeah, you can be a talker, but you're also a good listener. So like it goes both ways, man. Like, I don't know, like you said, somebody waiting for their turn to talk does suck. That's where like you can kind of weed those people out very quickly. But if you're sitting back and just, like you said, getting to tell your story and having your side and, whatever, like interviews that you're going to want to do, you're going to be asking questions. You're going to have to sit back and listen.
Yeah, right.
I think that's what's going to make you great, though, man. Like, wow. I think that's going to be a big part of this channel is because you can talk a lot, but you also know when to pull it back.
I try my best, man.
Yeah,
that really does mean a lot. So thank you. So I'm breaking in this room pretty well now. So, okay, so what's your second prized possession? So it's what's on your mind?
Well, so it was hard because it's it's like everything. I was like, oh, I'll bring in the play button. Oh, I'll bring in I'll do.
Oh, yeah.
It's the studio, guys. And like everything that goes in there, to the chairs, to the computer, to the screens, to the paneling, like all of it, man. We built that from a blank canvas, basically like this room is going at right now. And we took the time to talk about it, price it out, make sure that it was going to work, buy the right microphones. I looked for weeks and waited for sales, and I did this. Like, man, I put my fucking time and effort, and so did you, into that room. Just the room. I'm fucking proud of that room.
You should be.
I am so proud of that room and the things that we have done in that room. That sounded weird. No, but the things we
cameras aren't always on. So no.
The things we have done and accomplished. How about that?
And the fanfic begins. So, yeah.
But yeah, it's like I was going to bring in the play button, and I was going to do that because that's also, it is a prized possession because, again, we worked hard for that, but it kind of is the aesthetic of the room. So I just kind of lumped it in with that.
Yeah.
And I also didn't want to move it because some of the paint already chipped up. Don't get me started.
YouTube needs to do a lot of things, but one of the things that they definitely need to do is they need to take care of their play buttons and make sure that the stuff doesn't rub off or anything like that.
Yeah, it was a little a little disappointing, but it's just a small part under the O of the YouTube where it's a logo or whatever.
Just squint, it looks fine. So,
yeah. But no, so it's the room, and just kind of everything that goes, like I said, down to the chairs, the computer, the new computer, the rug, whatever. Like it is literally everything in there. And Elvira, again, that gets lumped in there, but definitely she's one of the ones that will never leave.
Papaw, man. And
that kind of, it makes me think like it's like our man cave thing in a sense, to where that's why she stays in there and then she never leaves.
Yeah.
So that was mine. And it's just, it goes in the fact of, like I said, the accomplishment the accomplishments we have had. Is that the right word? Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. So no, it just, I don't know. Like I said, it was a hard one, but yeah, dude. And that was for the both of us. And I know that, I don't know if that was one of yours, but
one of mine is in the studio.
Okay.
But it's not the actual studio itself. So, but I mean, because the studio, this is actually one of the things that I don't think that we've ever talked about this online. And this is something that I remember. It was fresh right after we had finished all the foam for the very first time when it was the black foam. And I remember we had just hung up the monitor above the ultra wide monitor because we use two monitors, guys, like whenever we do stuff. And I think we had the Fire Stick plugged into it. Oh. And we would get done with the night and we would take our drinks. We'd go in there, we'd sit down and we'd throw on Big Bang Theory. And we enjoyed the shit out of that studio.
Yes.
And we haven't done it since, just because the room is now like, it is definitely
fully functional. Yeah. Yeah.
To make that room be a fun room is not difficult.
No.
It's just the fact that you and I work so much and grind, so like where it's like, no,
In
like
the room.
this is not our leisure
Yeah.
space, but it was for a little bit, and it was fucking awesome.
It was
so cool.
I think it was almost one of those I know this sounds dumb, but like we were like getting to know the room.
for sure.
And like you said, like we would, even after we were done decorating and it was like officially done, you're right. We did go in there and watch a few shows and a few movies and stuff. Movies. And I think we were just like christening it and just having this like moment with it where we understood it. Again, I know this sounds corny, guys, but like it all came together after that. We were very comfortable in there. We knew what we were doing. And like you said, it got to the point to where, nope, when we walked in this room, you know it's work time. Whether you're editing, you're making a asset for the show, doing merch, whatever it is, or recording, you go in there to work.
Yeah.
You go in there to like play music, but that's still, I still argue that's work because you either make stuff for shows or you're practicing, which still helps you for the shows.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's work, but also fun time. So I think that we needed that time and I enjoyed it. So
Dude, it was so cool because like I felt like in so many ways we were kind of like breaking the rules. Where it was like, it's like we're like, this was not what the room was before. And it was just like, dude, like, like hold on. Let me bring the 6-pack in. So we'll split it. Like, it's just, it was that kind of thing. Like, it was dumb, trivial stuff.
And we watched the movies with the guys a couple times. And because we were in there. So that actually helped. So yeah, that was, again, fun times, man. Fun times.
Dude, what's interesting is that you talked about producing music and doing things is that I almost chose one of my guitars, but I couldn't.
I was really fucking shocked you didn't.
It was originally going to be my 8-string, my 8-string Ibanez. Now
the white one.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is that the reason why I didn't choose it is because I think that I have become a better musician with just producing music on my own. And so with that being said is I chose the large MIDI board that I purchased from Guitar Center. I love that thing so much. It is so much fun to go in there, understand that when I open Easy Keys, which by the way, guys, I'm not like a professional producer by any means. I am not even a licensed producer but like with anything, it's like I use easy stuff. Like it's like literally Easy Mix, all these things. Because I know I want to make music. I just don't understand the functionality of how you get there with dials and nothing else.
Sure.
So when it's like, man, like I can, program these songs. Like if I want to like sing a Lewis Capaldi song or whatever, I can just learn the chords, put them in Easy Keys, do what I'm doing. But I sit down and I practice piano sometimes. And like because it's cool because like it actually has the pressure, how a real piano works. I did have a keyboard before that I learned where the notes were, but I was told by many people that they said, look, if you're going to play an actual piano, you need to have one that's like actual. There's a proper term for it. I'm going to butcher it, but it's actually it needs to be sensitive to your fingers.
So wait, your MIDI board does that?
Correct, it does.
Your MIDI board was only like $100 more than mine, wasn't it?
Dude, it's well worth the price. It is.
Wow.
It is one of the best purchases that I've ever had in there. And I'm going to tell you this right now was that
I did not know that, man.
Well, it's although TJ and I lost the song that him and I were making at the time, we sat in that studio for hours. And him and I, he would be on one end and I would be on the other. And he would be like playing a part and figuring something out because he understands music theory.
Right.
So he was doing that, whereas I would just play kind of what sounds good. And what I love about this thing is that, I mean, it's with any MIDI board that you use. I mean, this one's just special. Like, it's kind of like, this is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one's mine, But, no, it was just, dude, it's so much fun. Like messing with synths and like just doing everything. Like I have had plenty of times that I have sat in that studio when I've been by myself, when you've been here, when Chandler's been here, like when people have been over. Dude, it allows me to essentially use it as an instrument to be any instrument that I want.
Yeah.
And it's, it's that Misha Mansour thing where he's like, look, I do not know how to play any kind of ensemble instrument or any kind of orchestral instrument, but I compose it MIDI wise. where it's like with the MIDI, where he's like, I know how to do these things because I know like what's going on. And you know, even though he claims like he doesn't know what he's doing, he does. He still has the functionality of his fingers of doing what he's doing or programming it and doing it. And
don't they call it like an idiot savant or something like that, where like you don't understand it, but like you understand it?
Oh, is that the term?
I don't know. I just like, tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought that's what that was. Where like you don't really know what you're doing, but like you kind of know what you're doing. So who knows? I could be wrong. I thought that's what that was, or something along those lines.
Well, I mean, I still to this day don't know what I'm doing whenever we do anything. So it's like I just kind of just so like right, because it's even that like because I mean Tim Henson has said that before, where he's like I still have no idea what I'm doing. Like he's like I just go in the studio and do whatever I think. Like it's you think of people that write books, like even Stephen King, where it's like he's like no, I hoped that these characters would make it out alive. It's sad that they didn't. Yeah, I wanted them to, but like this is just how the story went. Like. That's the type of stuff that I try to harness, and I think that's something that this MIDI board has allowed me to do. And plus, the pitch shifter is also kind of fun on it too, so you can like mess with it.
I can't wait to play with auto tune.
Oh God, dude,
we got to do that.
And I will say this right now is that I did have a night that I wrote original lyrics and wrote an original melody and put together a piano song. And I was like, okay, like, this is kind of working. And I used the auto tune to build a melody. Like I'm not going to rely on it, but I'm going to do this. I got done with the bare bones and started adding beats and like Eiffel 65, pew, and like different things. I'm like, it is so fucking easy to make a top 40 song. I'm like, this is disgusting.
Let's do it, Kyle. Let's go.
I'm like, dude, there's so much we could do.
Oh my fuck.
So to me, I look at it and I'm like, okay, like, what does that say about me? Like, if I were to be like,
what does that say about music? How about that, Kyle?
It's so sad. Like, because it's like when you look at the Bohemian Rhapsody lyrics compared to what's happening, like this was written by one man that was inspired.
And then a Grammy-winning artist, it's like 17 different motherfuckers that are on the side. It's like, oh, they didn't even write their own lyrics. Fuck me, right? Like, okay. Thought that would have at least be original. No.
To me, I look at it and think that, there is a way to kind of do the Bad Omens thing where, Noah, like we talked about it in the reaction, but like with Just Pretend was that he originally went into it to make a top 40 song because to kind of like take the piss out of it. But he's like, some point, it just all worked out. And he's like, well, okay, I guess, wow, this is actually a really good song. These lyrics went from being cheesy to like, I cry when I like hear them. Like it's that type of thing. So it's being able to have the ability to do anything.
Yeah.
That's what's really awesome because I mean, from the time that even that Ron was here and we were able to record harsh vocals for him, we're, saying like, all right, like, let's do, these many layers of this thing. That's good to go. Now that it's happened and I can talk about it, but for Joey's wedding, he recorded the song that he sang for him and his, it was him and Hannah's first dance where it's like, okay, like we know that we can create stuff out of there. And the MIDI board is not the main workhorse, the computer is, but I think that the MIDI board is how I can actualize all those things and make those things happen. Yes, we have Shure microphones that are great for recording music. We have, this room that dampens everything acoustically, all that. But when you sit down and you don't have to click and program, there's just something special about that.
Right.
It's just cool. Yeah. So, but that was my next one. And I don't know what your third one is. And I don't know if it was just because you've just been thinking on it or whatever, but I'm really curious to see what you have.
So it's weird. And I'm going to try to keep this as unemotional as I can.
Okay. You're good, man.
It's time.
Oh.
You guys have blessed me with time. I have all the time in the world now with my daughter. For a channel.
Yeah.
The biggest one is for her and my kids in general. Like, if I didn't have that, I don't know where it would be because I would have to work all the time just to make ends meet or do all these things. And it's like, no, we are not rich by any means off of YouTube, but we do okay. And okay enough that I can be a stay-at-home dad. And that is time. It is something that I have taken for granted a long time, essentially. But for a long time, man, I'm going to be 40 years old in like a week. And I look at it a lot different now. I've been through a lot, and I know people have been through worse, but it's just, I can just fucking do. You know what I mean? I can just do. I don't have to worry about coming home from work and racing things in. And then when I have to go pick somebody up and then go here and do this. And oh my God, did I do this for work? And it just, everything just stopped. And it went, all I have to do is this. I have all of this time now. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up, because it is precious to me. It is very precious to me. And the big thing is for my kids, it opens up so much for me.
Yeah.
And like I said before, guys, it's because of you guys. This would have not been possible without you and you guys in Riker Road. Like, honestly, and Kyle, like, he's helped me out with a lot of things. Like, there's a lot that goes into this. Yeah, you guys see lights, camera, action, but there's a lot more that goes into this. We have lives.
Yeah.
We have real things that happen. I'm going through a lot of bullshit right now, but the time that I have makes up for it because I don't have to worry as much.
Yeah.
It just, I thought about this. And I thought about if I was going to put that in there, if I was going to do this one, if I was going to pick something else. And I was like, no, man, it keeps coming back to me. This is the thing I keep thinking about as a prized possession.
Yeah.
Is my time that I have and the things that I can do. And like I said, just don't mess it up, Eric. Just fucking do right by it. And I'm hoping that's what I'm doing and I continue to do. Yeah. So sorry to be a Debbie Downer for a second, but
no, man.
Yeah.
I would argue that dude, that's probably one of the most powerful things I think you've said on the podcast. I mean, I mean, good things do hurt. And I think that, it's that, that office mentality of just like, like, why am I so sad? Like, am I doing the wrong thing? Like, it's like there's times that, I think emotions can overwhelm us.
Oh, Michael.
And like, right. And it's so like, but I think that it's, because leaving Best Buy, I'm sure, was probably easy in some ways, but, it's like you leave the people that you're with, you leave your second family. Like,
yeah.
And it's, there's this new life that you've never had before. And, and there's guys like, there's many, many private conversations Eric and I have had in the kitchen and in, around a grill, or even like now the basement, and stuff with like having like the bedroom and stuff. Like, it's just, we have many different places that we can just sit down and just talk. And it's like, I find that it helps push everything forward so much. And we have put our time into this, and we like, it's, and what blows my mind is the fact that we went from a situation of you and I first getting the Rodecaster in a basement at a time of my life when my home life was not good.
Oh,
for
both
multiple reasons.
Yeah, both of our lives were fucking horrible.
And it's, to me, I look at it now that, like, because this is like how our weeks go, is that we are never looking for a way to get out of recording. Our thing is always, what can we do this week? How can we do this?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Like, even tonight, like we shot the Ren reaction that's probably going to come out tomorrow, maybe at the same time as this podcast, depending on when things happen or when we decide to do stuff.
Murdered it.
Right. Yeah, he did. We'll save that for the, yeah. Just, oh God, it was great. No, so it's like we did that, and then we're recording this, and then we're going to take a break and then go in and then shoot a Shut Up and Eat It, because Lola sent us some great stuff, and because you found some great,
because we can.
Yeah, right. The fact that we have this ability is stupid, and it's a good stupid. Where it's like, dude, it's stupid. How did this happen? I don't know. And that's the main thing, is that I look at what we have been given. And some people can look at it that they're like, oh, it's like all you do is make videos. And the main thing that I want to say is kindly fuck you.
Yeah.
You have no idea what it took to get here. You have no idea what the sleepless nights of being up till 3 a.m. because we didn't get done till 11, and I was stressed out of my mind and couldn't fall asleep until then.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what it was like to be with people that I thought were close to me and I thought were supportive, and it turned out that they were the biggest hindrance. And when they left, it was one of the hardest things that ever happened to me, but I found peace with it. It's like you didn't sit through all the different family bullshit. You didn't sit through all the times I didn't know whether or not I was going to be able to pay my bills and still found a way to make something happen. Like, nah, dude, tread lightly when you talk to me about that stuff because nah, dude, nobody has dedicated more to this channel than you and I. And that's the main thing that I will ever say about this is that there has been so much like that whole NF thing of like blood, sweat, and tears on the 808s, dude. Like, nah, dude, we have given everything. And you know what? I love it just as much as I did when we first started.
Good.
And dude,
it's just different now.
It is. It's now I will say this, it's a lot better that it's easier now. Like I'm okay with that.
Of course. You know, it's just like I said, man, the time that we have had with everything from the beginning, because it technically started with the podcast before it was the Cave Cast, and that's what sparked me to do things. And then my other prized possession, the studio and all that. Like, yeah, man, like it all kind of came full circle. But I mean, it's baffling. A year and a half ago, if you would have told me, hey, Eric, this is what you're going to get. You're going to be blessed with time. I'd have been like, fuck you. No way.
That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen. Happen. But no, it's just that I think, like I said, I thought about it a lot, and I wanted to end with that one, not start with it.
Sure.
But I think it was just something that I actually kind of hold near and dear to my heart. So yeah, just
good,
time. So
dude. It kind of makes my last one. I feel like it's like, man, like I should have had you go last. But
I know what it is, and dude, you should be proud of this.
Well, look, man. I think that it also it coincides with everything, even like with what I'm about to show. Is that I think that time is so important, and I chose to devote my time to something that was outlandish.
Yep.
That people that were in my life at the time that said that I was taking film too seriously, that I was, that I was wasting my time, or like, I don't even know why you're starting. There were people that I thankfully they were never anybody close to me, but there were people that were connected to a friend of mine that were just like, oh, they're going to go make one of their movies. It's just like, because like I've had people, even recently where it's just like, that, I mean, you and I have talked about the specifics of it, but like, talking about what we've done on the channel, and they're like, oh, you just think you're doing something, don't you? And it's like, yeah, because we are, man. Like, it's like, and it's not because of us. It's because of the people that surround us.
Right.
It's because of the impact that somehow that I can't understand that we have. And to kind of bring it into a physical thing here is that this is the very first award that I ever won for doing film.
Hell yeah, man.
It's because it's clear it's going to be hard to read, but this is for Wadsworth Cable Television here in Ohio. And I worked with Mosaic Church for I can't remember how many years, but there was a good stint of time that I worked with them. Yeah. And I did get 3 of these. Now there were 2 I think that happened at the same time because it was winning in 2 categories. And then there was a following one the next year that ended up happening.
God damn, you got... Sorry, I just said goddamn for a thing. You got 3 of those?
Yeah, there's
for 3 different...
There's 2 more in the closet. So,
bro,
yeah.
He said they're in the closet. Yes, I had no idea you got 3 of them, man.
I did, yeah.
No, I did.
I did. I don't mean to be...
No, you were just like, I did. Like, I don't show them, but damn, dude, okay.
Yeah, and I want to talk about somebody that is very special to me, and I've not spoken to him in a long time. And not for like any negative reason or anything, but he's one of my good buddies. His name is Ray. And when I was going to church when I was going to church at the time, he was our bassist, and I'm pretty sure that he is still going there. If not, it's like, wherever he is, I hope that they are just blessed by his presence. And Ray, he has so much life to him. He is so excited to be just around to be around people. He loves the Lord. He loves music. Like, he was kind of like, I guess you could say, the stereotypical, like, you know, stoner hippie back in the day.
Okay.
And, you know, would like go out to nature and, like, you know, like camp and stuff. And he still goes out and camps to this day. Like, that's what he loves to do. Like, he's got that vibe to him. And he is just one of the hippest people that I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. And the day that I got two at once, and Adam, who was my pastor and friend at the pastor at the time, friend still now, and he was like, "Hey, dude," he's like, "I got to watch it." He's like, "It was like an award show." He's like, "You know, we like, I don't know, like we could have gone or whatever, and I would have gone up and accepted it." But he's like, "They showed the section." He's like, "They showed the intro that you made, and then they showed the
really
a bit of the sermon." He's like, "It kind of worked like an MTV Movie Award." He's like, "It was very interesting."
No shit, man.
So we got done with the sermon, with the sermon. He was done, and I had, you know, the two that I had, and I put them in the back of the sound room, and I went to go leave to do something, and Ray pulled me aside, and he said, "Kyle, get in there right now." And I went, well, geez, like, because we always called him our resident silverback, because he had like gray hair, you know, whatever. He was a big, you know, kind of bigger, you know, kind of stock, like, or tall dude or whatever. Just he's great, and he has the best mustache I've ever seen in my life.
Fuck yeah.
But he looked at me, and he said, "Pick those up right now." And I went, "Okay." And he went, "Smile." And I went, and he took a picture of me, and he was just like, "No, dude." He's like, "Be proud."
Yeah.
He's like, "You did something. You accomplished something."
Absolutely, man.
And it's interesting, because I know that with what you and I are going to do is that we are going to do some incredible things. I don't know what those specific things are. I don't know who is going to be a part of it. I don't know who's going to like it, who's going to hate it, who's going to, you know, be okay with it. But, you know, to me, it's like, I look at that and I think to myself, like, okay, my movie idea isn't that far off.
Yeah.
My stories I want to tell, or the things that I want to do, where it's like, I'm not in it for the award. I'm not in it for the fact that
not.
like, but it's one of those where it's like, if that award is because people loved what I did, then that's enough. Like, it's that whole Ronnie thing where it's like, even if Ronnie would have sent us a personal message and it never would have been public on YouTube, it's enough.
Yep.
The friend of mine who, when I was working at a Christian campground, like, everybody was mad that they removed the funding that year because you used to get paid every week while you were working. And he's like, "Nah, dude, those kids going up every week and accepting Christ because we did this." He's like, "That's my paycheck."
That's the award. Right.
He's like, "Dude, we're doing things that mean something for eternity.
Yeah.
We're doing something that means something because of life. We're doing something that means something." Like, I know that I want to make some very aggressive waves with the story I want to tell, and the things I'm going to do, and the people I want involved, and how I want to go about it. And every once in a while, I'll walk past the closet or whatever, or like wherever these things are sitting, and I'll look at it, and I'm just like, it can happen. It can. I don't know how it will, but if Wadsworth Cable Television liked me enough in 2015 when I did that stuff, then what if I take things seriously, even more seriously than what I was doing there, and like, what could happen?
Bro,
yeah.
You helped me get a silver play button. What do you mean, man? I'm not trying to compare dicks here, but like, yeah, that is a great award that you got, but you got recognized on a major platform for 100,000 subscribers that you helped me get in that studio that is a prized possession. Bro, you're evolving. Like, you're doing more than you think. Like, the fact is that somebody already did acknowledge that 3 times. I didn't know it was 3.
Yeah.
But look at what you did. Okay,
Yeah.
so 2015. So in not 8-9 years, you got a silver play button for a channel.
And it's so weird for me to think of that perspective.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. You think Spielberg just fucking did it the first day? Well, probably. But
He's Spielberg.
But what I'm saying is
I
that,
get
like,
you.
you've said it before, is like, so I got to suck at this for a little bit? Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
But look at what that does. And that showed that you got an award years ago. You sucked a long time ago before that. Look at what you've done before that, and then and then now.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that is a huge thing. Like, you should be proud of that because of the progressions you have made in your film, your recording, your, I guess, editing, your attention to detail. Hell, you make half the shit on my assets for my show. I wouldn't know how to do that. You know why it's on my channel? Because you took the time, because you know you're good at something. Those are major accomplishments.
It's a major award.
Yeah, it's a major award.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that that gentleman was right. Hold those things up. Smile. Fucking document this. And I think that you ended on a really good one, because that is so cool. Like, I walk by those before, or walk by that one, I guess, and see that quite a bit. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, he did. And it's the clicker. Like, it's the thing. It's the cool thing. Like, bro, you should, all three of them should be out in this studio somewhere.
It's
fucking fix it.
If you if you don't hurt me, I'll make sure they're all out. But man. I appreciate it, man. What I just look at that, I'm just doing what I love to do, and it's, so like, to me,
and that's why it works.
I've had the absolute just honor of being able to speak to so many people, whether it is via email, whether it's Instagram, whether it's in person, whether like whatever. And it's one of those that, I don't know, there's a part of me that kind of feels like a fraud, because I didn't really have to dig through the trenches of like being told I would never make it. Because there were people that did have like different opinions on things, but like, it wasn't like, that thing of like, I'm really good at this. Like, where it's like,
we're like, we know, motherfucker.
So, but like, I don't know, like, to me, it's one of those that I've had so much love and support for such a long time that I've tried my best to not take that for granted, and to not understand that, that just because mom says it's good doesn't mean that it's not good for somebody else too.
Sure.
Like, it's such a weird thing, because I know mom does have good taste, and there's been times that she has looked at me and she's like, this doesn't work. This is awful. You got to change this. Like,
right.
Because like, we're a very blunt family, and so I'm very,
That's probably why you are so good at the things that you do like that, because I know I've told you before, like, dude, no, that sucked.
You got to fix this.
Yeah, like, or whatever. Like, so I think that kind of does help in a little bit, but you're right. Like, not having, like, not being coddled. Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing. And I'm very thankful for just everybody that has stuck by us, and the people that continue to, and that's you watching this right now. If you have made it this far, we genuinely enjoy your time. We did start a Patreon that if you guys want to support what we're doing, it's $1. That's what I plan on keeping it, until the end of time. If there's more tiers, we'll talk about that later. But we did a pre-show thing that happened that you guys can check out, that will definitely be on there at the same time of this episode being uploaded. And we plan on doing more behind the scenes stuff, and we have big ideas. We have big things we want to do. And even if you don't want to do the Patreon, like, subscribe, share the video. Your support matters, dude. Like, you are a person behind that click, and that's what I always try to remind myself so much. And I really want to thank you for going on this adventure with me of doing this new room, and I want to thank all of you for being here and getting to experience it and see the imperfections of now and what will be the greatness of later. So, Eric, is there anything that you would like to say to them before we sign off?
Not really, man. Just, no pun intended, enjoy your time.
Awesome. We love you guys. We'll see you later.